Okay, good evening. By my watch, I have 7 o'clock Central Standard Time here in, excuse me, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So we're going to go ahead and get this started. Hopefully, the audio is much better tonight. I want to first start off by apologizing for the audio on Monday. There's still some kinks that we're trying to work out on this end, but I think we got it together as far as good, clean audio without that. We had a lot of crackling sound. It just wasn't up to standard. So I apologize again for that. First of all, let me just say thank you for tuning in. There are so many other things that you could be doing tonight, but you chose to tune in to my live YouTube telecast. And for that, I say thank you. We can discuss tonight anything that you would like to discuss, dating advice, female leverage, understanding male behavior. Anything's on the table tonight. How to spot when a man is cheating, understanding how to keep a man in compete mode. Any questions you ladies may have, I'd be more than happy to answer them. As you can see on the screen, the call-in number is available if anybody wants to call in. If there are any questions, some of you purchased the book, and some people called in with questions last week, and they wanted to know about the book. Had questions about the book. So if you're in that situation, we can do that as well. Hello, Yan. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Phoenix Lemon, for joining. Thank you, She Wonder. Thank you so much, because once again, there are so many other things that you could be doing tonight. And I'm just humbled that you took time out of your schedule to come visit with us. So, again, phone line is on the screen. Anything that anybody wants to talk about, feel free to do it. You can call in. Again, still a couple of kinks I'm trying to work out here. As you notice, I may look over. That's where the screen is, but hopefully we can have that worked out. Got a couple of new screens that's coming in that's going to be more bigger, and for me to be able to see better without being a distraction and have to look out to the side. So thank you for everything once again. What would you ladies, maybe there's some gentlemen in the house that maybe you have a question, what would you like to discuss? Again, you can put your comments, or you can put your questions in the comments, and I'll be able to see those as well. All right, so right now it seems like we have 11 people in the building. I think, if I'm not mistaken, on Monday we got up to 78. All right, thank you, Ms. Hobbs. Your question says, most guys that I meet are only interested in hooking up. How do I meet men who are more serious-minded? Okay, excellent question. See, I'm glad you brought that up, because see, a man is only going to play you the way that you play it. Okay, so in other words, see, a man is going to play you or approach you or look at you from a hookup standpoint, and if you don't correct him, and if you don't send out messages either verbally or whatnot that you're not the hookup type of woman, then that's the way it's going to go. So in other words, see, this is why I'm a firm believer in ladies, that you dictate the pace, you dictate the standards, you dictate how the relationship is going to flow. So yeah, let's look at this. Look how many men that you have out there that fall under the F-boys, the a-holes, the dogs, the players, the pickup artists, the alpha males, the men who are out there just trying to put another sexual conquest under their belt. And quite frankly, they don't care who it is, because it could be you, it could be your friend, it could be your sister. They're just trying to just find somebody who's down with the program. And so again, to answer your question, you have to stop that. You have to put an end to that, because men are only going to do what you allow them to do. Any other questions? Anybody had any questions about the book? Anybody purchased the book? Anybody has any reservations? There's maybe some questions you have about it. You want to get more detail about it? All right, 11 people in the building. So again, the call-in number is on the screen. Feel free to call in. Any questions, any comments that you may have. Hopefully, Ms. Hobbs, I answered that question, because again, men, sexual-driven creatures, very sexually driven. And so if a man, if a man is out for sex only, okay, yes, he's going to try and play you with that hookup culture. Because what? In his estimation, all he wants is sex, doesn't care about your feelings, doesn't care about your wants, doesn't care about your desires. Again, he just wants to get sex, get in and get out. So ladies, you have to be the gatekeepers. You have to be the one that say, nope, not here. You better go down the street, talk to her about that. All right. Does the book talk about how to keep a man? That's the last thing. Yes, Yan. Let me put your question up. 1 second. She says, does the book talk about how to keep a man happy? That is the last portion of the book, because I'm pretty sure, you ladies are probably saying, well, I have no problem getting a man. And I believe you. I believe you 100% when you say I have no problem getting a man, meeting a man, or whatnot. But at the end of the day, do you know how to keep him? And that's the last 2 chapters of my book focuses on that. Because again, people, when you look at this thing, I want you to look at the name of it. All right, name of the book, right there on the screen. How to Train a Man Like a Dog to Be the Man That You Want. Let's discuss that real quickly, okay? One of the opening lines in the book that I talk about is, ladies, when you see a man, okay, when you see a man, I want you to see a dog. Now, I'm not saying this in a derogatory term, as far as, just a dumb, silly animal. No, I don't mean that. What I mean by that is, I want you to envision him as a dog, because in the initial stages, the only thing that's separating a man from a dog is that the man, we have a big brain. We're wise. We can solve problems. We have rational thinking. We know right from wrong. We have a conscience. But the dog does not. So what the book is talking about is, why I use that when I say like a dog, I mean, what I basically mean is similar like a dog, but similar is a lot longer than like, so I couldn't use similar. But you have to approach it in that same manner, because when you're dealing with a man, when you look at a man and a dog have so many similar characteristics. That's why a dog is known as what? Man's what? Best friend. Because there's so many ways we can relate to that dog. Number one, that dog is very territorial. Okay, you bring the dog home from the puppy shop or wherever you got that dog. The dog is gonna come in. He's gonna sniff around that house, sniff around that yard. A couple of days, that dog say, "This mine." That's what we call that territorial spirit. This is what we call that natural instinct to dominate. Men, we are the same way. We possess that natural instinct to dominate. 2 men cannot stay in the same house together. Or if they do, one of them is going to be the alpha dog, and one of them is just going to have to be that one to submit. It's not going to be two alphas in that house. No way. It's not going to work. What's going to happen? They're going to collide. So the main two things I focus on is that men and dogs share two natural instincts. Number one, that natural instinct to dominate. Number two, that natural instinct to have sex. Let's talk about that natural instinct to dominate. If you take two boys, because I'm just trying to explain this to you ladies, so hopefully you can get it from a male's perspective, because it starts off early. It starts off something that we were born with. If you take, for example, puppies. When puppies are born, and if you ever pay attention, when those puppies are born, it's going to be a battle to get to what? The breast of the female dog. Now, who's going to battle? Those puppies. But see, that alpha puppy, early. See, anybody who's familiar with dogs, you can always tell who's going to be that alpha dog, because he's going to be the one that makes sure he gets to that breast of the female, the mother, like that. If he can't get to it, he's going and he's going to make sure he's going to weed them out. Now, the weakest one is what's back in the old days we always called the runt. Okay, now let's look at that same example. If you take two boys, let's say they're 2 years old, all right? You take two boys, 2 years old, give one of them a Tonka truck. I'm old school, that's what we played with back in the day. So just give them a toy fire truck. Two boys, 2 years old. Now, one boy has the truck, the other 2-year-old boy is looking at him with the truck. See that 2-year-old boy that does not have the truck? Guess what's going to happen? He's going to try and take that truck from the other 2-year-old boy that has the truck. Why? Because that instinct to dominate is in those boys. It's born with us. Now, that same scenario, you could take a 2-year-old boy, one has a truck. Guess what? The other one has a truck. One is going to be vroom, 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 vroom. One's going to play with his truck. The other's going to vroom, 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 vroom. He's going to play with his truck. And then one of them is going to look at the other 2-year-old playing with his truck. Even though he has a truck, you know what he's going to do? I want that truck too. That's what's going to happen sooner or later. Even though they both have their own separate truck, one is going to say, and see the other one playing with his truck, one of them is going to say, you know what, I want that truck too. So one wants both trucks and wants to leave the other one without a truck. That's what we mean by the instinct to dominate. It starts early. It starts early. And you could walk in and tell both of those boys, hey, you boys, you need to learn how to share. And them boys will look at the mother and parents like, share? No, share, I want both of the trucks. So again, it starts very, 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 very early on with puppies and dogs, because what? It's that instinct to dominate. You don't have to tell a man how to run our house, or we're going to run the house. And another man is not going to come in that house and run it for us. It's not going to happen. See? Dogs. When another dog comes around, what do? They sniff each other. They size each other up. What do men do? We look at each other. We size each other up. Well, where do you work at? Well, I'm the CEO of this company. This guy's the president of this company. What type of car you drive? What type of car he drives? See, we size people up. Well, you took your girlfriend to Europe for her vacation. I'm going to take my girlfriend to Asia for her vacation, or birthday or whatnot. See, we compete. We're competitive. Look what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. See, for people who don't understand it, that's men asserting their what? Dominance. That's not the first time you've seen that. It's not going to be the last time. Men have invaded other men's country and just taken their resources. That's that instinct to dominate. When you see one bank buy out another bank, when they buy that other bank out, they don't care if those people got unemployed or if they're going to be sleeping under the bridge. That's that instinct to dominate. When you look at men playing football, you got a 350-pound man going up against another 350-pound man. and they down, said, hut. That's one play. Then they get back up, go to the huddle, down, said, hut, and they running into each other full speed ahead. That's what I'm talking about, that instinct to dominate. And then, once again, that natural instinct to have sex. And this is what you're dealing with the majority of the time, ladies, because if you don't understand how those two things work together, you can be in for a long journey, because we know how to masquerade it. What do I mean by masquerading it? We know how to not come across as, "Rrr." We know how to come across as calm and smooth and unassuming and nice and friendly. And we know how to sweep you off your feet with just kind words and kind gestures. But what you don't know that's fueling that is that instinct to dominate and that instinct to have sex. All right, hold on. Just had the guy, I got to put this question up. Hold on. All right, just had a guy cancel a date on me 1 hour before. What's your advice on handling men who do this? How, as a woman, should we react? First of all, I'd say good riddance. Now, understand this, Lauren M. Please understand this. He's coming back. He's coming back. What do I mean by coming back? If he flaked out on you on this date, he will be back, but he's going to come at you with a lame excuse. So you might as well prepare yourself for that right now. What do I mean by a lame excuse? He's going to blame it probably on, usually what we do as men, we'll try and blame it on the issues of life. Well, I'm having stress on the job. Things aren't going well in my life. I'm just stressed out. It has nothing to do with you, baby. Nothing. Please, baby, don't take it personal. It has nothing to do with you. I'm just going through, some emotional things right now. I just needed some time to myself, and I just needed to, be by myself, because if I would be around you, I just would be bitter and making your day more bitter. So I just took some time off to myself. See, that's usually the games that we do when we start flaking out on dates. And usually, why do we flake out on dates? Because we got a date with somebody else. Now, I'm not saying that's what happening in this situation, but 9 times out of 10, that's a date. He's got a date with somebody else. And like I said, he's coming back. And like I said, Lauren, come back. I'm doing these shows every Monday and Thursday night. Just come back and type in the excuse that he came up with and see if it matches up with what I'm saying. So once again, usually when we flake out and when we mess up and we know we messed up and we just know we can't come up with we know we can't come, correct and tell you the truth, we usually will blame it on the issues of life. We're going through something. It's going to be some type of stress that we're experiencing on the job or something that caused us to drop out of your life, and then we come back like nothing happened, and we expect you to just take us back. That's the way I see it. I could be wrong, but whenever he does come back, if you don't mind, just come back in the live, possibly Monday or this time next Thursday, and tell me what he said. I'll check the book out. Thank you. Somebody said, boy, bye. Oh, I got you. Yeah, but, all right, what we got? We got 34 in the building. Ghost him, period. All right, anybody want to call in? As you can see, the phone line is open. No one has called yet. I'm willing to take all calls. Cash App, if you like to Cash App, hey, I would gladly accept it. Thank you so much. Super chats are greatly appreciated. All right, somebody said fake. Somebody said block, delete. He playing, looking for you to chase. That's a good observation as well. A lot of times men, expect women to pursue it. And that's one thing I am staunchly against. Why am I staunchly against that? Because you're going against nature. Why would you Why would you lose? I'm sorry. Why would you lose or compromise your natural leverage that nature gave you and pursue a man? Because once you start pursuing a man, I promise you, once our egos get inflated, once we get puffed up, and you've shown us that we're interested, that you are interested in us, and that you find us physically attractive, and you think we're cute, and you think we're fine, and you think we're the best thing since, sliced bread, that's a dangerous tactic. Because when you reveal those type of things to a man that quick in the initial stages, usually what's going to happen is the men are just going to work their normal routine with texts, with phone calls, going out on dates, being as sweet as possible, being a perfect gentleman, get you in bed, have sex with you, and then watch how his true colors come out after sex, what I call AS. So whenever you hear me say AS, that refers to after sex. Because that's usually when you see a man's true colors. After sex, we can be so charming. We can be so beautiful. Our spirit can be so beautiful. We can open doors for you. We'll pull out the chairs for you. We'll be so kind and so courteous. But after sex, a lot of times those true colors start to come out. And you may be thinking, or you may be looking at him like, this does not even seem like the same man that I met. But the true layers, the mask, the multiple mask that he was wearing, they came off. Somebody said 78 days. I missed that one. I had a guy do that to me, made plans for a date and canceled on him to go on a date with, there you go, another girl, no hard feelings. I wished him well. Never spoke to him again. The relationship fell through a month later. He deleted his Facebook. God doesn't play about his children. Excellent point. Excellent point. I agree with that 100%. So, any questions, any comments? We got 33 in the chat. Once again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to tune in. It's a shame men want to go against nature and expect good results. Well, yeah, this is just me once again. This thing that's called social media has really flipped the landscape on how dating the dating rituals are in today's world. I'm 54 years old, born in 1968. I mean, of course, we didn't have social media and internet and cell phones and all that, back in my day. But so men, you had to go out to meet the women. You couldn't stay home, as in today's world where somebody can just stay home and they can just swipe and DM and join this dating app and join that dating app and whatever. In my day, you had to go out to meet the women. You met women, a variety of places, bus stop, malls, skating rinks, ice cream parlors, malt shops. I mean, but you had to get out. Other schools, other high schools may be throwing a dance or whatnot. You had to get out. But in today's world, you can sit right here on your a man, the most unattractive men, can sit right there on their living room couch, be a member of 10 different dating sites, be a member of 10 different social media sites, and just swipe and DM all day. And they just play, as I always say, they just play the numbers game. Swipe 100 times, one person interested, they're good with that. Because they're going to swipe way more than 100 times. So if they swipe 500 times, now what? Now you got 5 women interested in them. And that's just the numbers game, how this cell phone and social media and the dating apps have just changed the whole landscape. And we're not even talking about the guys, the pretty boys, The guys, some men are just genetically blessed, to be handsome, good looks. So, what do you think their ratio is for every 100 women that they contact? And now you got this huge log jam where men can be just, some men are like, it don't even matter. I'm good. Now, that does not mean that it's all doom and gloom. Because like I said, ladies, you are blessed from nature. What does that mean? That means that you still have the natural leverage and the natural advantage of a man pursuing you. What does that mean? Don't lose that leverage. Just keep going through the same steps that I've told you about, that are instructed in my book. Or if you don't get the book, come up with your own plan that's going to keep a man in compete mode. Because if you look at my book, hold on. Hello, caller. Can you hear me? Yeah. Hold on. For some reason, it's not coming through the system. It should be coming through the system. Hold on. I tell you what. Can you hang up and call right back? Thank you so much. All right. All right, people, I apologize for that. We got to figure out what's going on here. All right, so while she calls back, let me, all right, yes, social media is training men to behave that way. Yes, I love the internet taught from being taken out with flowers, this total mess I pass. All right, hopefully we can get it together this time. Hello? Yeah, I can hear you, and I apologize. I can definitely hear you, but the people on the people who are joined in the chat, they can't hear you because for some reason the Bluetooth is not connecting you through the system. So I'm trying. I'm Yeah, just type your question in the chat. Yeah. Thank you so much, and I apologize for that inconvenience. Uh, all right, bye bye. All right, bye bye. Okay. I apologize for that. I think somebody said and porn. Okay, Kristen Stewart, I would love for you to talk about modern day young men who play video games and are very lazy and don't really approach or pursue strong. How do we deal with that? Uh, First thing you got to do is if the guy doesn't approach you, you got two options. Okay, let's say this is a guy that you're attracted to. You find him attractive. Looks, body type, whatever. He checks all the boxes. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if it's a guy that's you're attracted to, you got two options. Wait for him to approach you or you approach him. Which of the two are you going to do? Again, can't tell you what to do. I'm just giving you some advice from a male perspective. As a lady, If I were a lady, I would never, never, never approach a man. That's just me, because I know how men are. I know our nature. Because number one, you're going to give away your female leverage. What do I mean by that? See, once in the initial stages, and I'm a firm believer that all relationships are either going to be successful or unsuccessful in the initial stages of the relationship. That first day you meet that man on down until marriage, engagement, breakup, or whatever. So if I were a lady, I'm not giving away my female leverage, because once again, I know men, how we act. See, we act much differently when we know that the lady, that you are attracted to us. What do we start to do? We start to think that we can put you in our hip pocket. We start to almost think as you as an object that we can just play with when we want to. And when we do not want to be bothered, we'll just put you on a shelf like you're a toy or something and just let you sit on the shelf until we want to play with you again. And that's just how we operate. Most men operate anyway. Now, the young man could be, maybe he's just shy. You know, one thing I've noticed about a lot of young men today are afraid of rejection. And I talk to a lot of men, and they've told me that yes, I do see a lot of ladies that they are attracted to. This is what they've told me. But some of them just, they do not have the intestinal fortitude for rejection. Now, see, back in my day, we didn't care. You just got to tell us no. But it seems that in today's world, the younger men are, well, some of the younger men are more cognizant of being rejected, as far as that, affecting them in a negative way. So some, they'll just tell me, look, I don't even approach women, not because I'm not interested, but that rejection. Young man walks up to you, he walks way across the room with all those people looking at him, and he comes up to you and he starts a conversation with you, and eventually it gets down to, exchanging contact information, and you tell him no. See, every man is not suited for that. Every man cannot handle that. Every man's ego cannot handle that. And I really think that this younger generation of men, I really think that their ego is much, much, much more fragile than back in my day. Because back in my day, it was like, I'll be honest with you. A lot of times I approached women, I was expecting to get rejected. But I was just looking at it as far as this might be the one that says yes. So when I got rejected, does it feel good? No, I'm not saying it feels good. But men with confidence, it's no big deal getting rejected. It really isn't. Okay, let me restate that. Once again, does it feel good? No, I promise you, it does not feel good. But when you're confident, it's just like a salesperson. A salesperson knows this business owner may say no, this one may say no, this one may say no, this one may say no, but they know sooner or later they're going to get a yes. And that's just the way the ball bounces, but I don't think there are too many men. I think that, a lot of the younger men in this day and time, they don't have that same type of attitude. That's how my mom trained me. Expound on that. What did your mom say? Echo. Could you expound on that? He doesn't need to be dating. That's what's hard when you try to be an attractive woman and dress up and be feminine. Well, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say Kristen Stewart. I see where you're coming from when you say, you take the time out to get dolled up, and you're beautiful and you're attractive, and men don't approach. I understand what you're saying, but But I don't think that applies to all men. I don't know your age. I don't know your hometown where you live at, but there are some men who are looking for the type of description that you just put out there, as far as the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, being very feminine or whatnot. Now, all I do is give advice. If you feel that you meet a young man and you're physically attracted to him, guess what? Nothing wrong with that. If you say, well, I don't see anything wrong with approaching him, introducing myself and go from there, hey, that's totally up to you. That is totally up to you. But remember, let's look at the odds. The odds are he's a good man. He could be. He could be the man of your dreams. He could be your future husband. He could be the king or the prince that you've been desiring all your life. Now, that's just one on one side. Or dog, player, pickup artist, F-boy, a-hole, alpha male who's just out to get sexual conquest, those type of men. So that's a hell of a gamble that you're taking when you decide to do that. I'm in L.A., the land of immature people. Maybe I should move to the, to the South, but your advice is so appreciated and helpful. Thank you. Yeah, well, of course, I wouldn't tell you to move to the South, Christian, because when you come to the South, you got some men down here with some bad understanding. So not saying all of them, but you really have to know what you're doing when you're dealing with a man, from Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama. Oh my goodness. All right, go to class where you are there every day. I took an art class. There were at least 50 men and women. That's excellent advice, Echo. Excellent advice. So there are so many different places in which men and women can meet. So many. I'm just old school. For me, the grocery store. Now, don't laugh at me, but I've met so many quality women in the grocery store, especially grocery stores such as, I know I'm going to mess it up, Whole Foods, those specialty type grocery stores. Oh, very, very, very classy women in grocery stores. Somebody say Florida. Hey. All right. I think if somebody wants to try and call back, I think I got it cleared up with the YouTube. I'm sorry, where the phone line is going to be played throughout, so the listening audience can hear. So as you can see, the phone numbers is on the screen. All right, so I guess we got Florida in the house. Let's see. I have men in grocery store. They lied about being able to cook. Hey, that's what men do. Men will lie. There's no doubt about that. I was about to say going to make groceries. I'm in my 20s. I did that years ago. My mom told me never give up my female. Bingo. There you go, Echo. That's just, I wouldn't give it up. And ladies, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I wish all ladies could experience this. The courting phase, when a man is attracted to you and he's putting his best foot forward to show you that he's the best suited male for you, that's a beautiful thing. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you ladies can experience that in your lifetime, you're going to experience a man who will do anything for you. Take a bullet, run through a brick wall, run over hot coals. You know, it's a really, 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 really beautiful thing, because that's the power. And once again, I just feel that there are so many ladies who do not understand the power that you have. For example, me being a man, okay? Let's say there's a homeless man under the bridge and he's down on his luck. See, I can go under that bridge and talk to that homeless man and try and breathe some words of encouragement to him, and, you know, tell him, you know, things are going to be okay. Things are going to get better. You know, hang in there. I could do that, maybe have a little impact on him. But see, a woman, my goodness, a woman can go talk to that same homeless man that's under the bridge and tell him, hey, I think you're great. I see a king within you underneath all of that. Hey, you just hit a rough spot in life, but you can bounce back from that. See, a woman, she can breathe so much life and inspiration into that homeless man under the bridge. He'll feel like Superman. He'll feel like Aquaman. I mean, he will feel like a totally new man just based upon the words that lady, that woman told him. Powerful thing. And so you ladies have to realize you could tear a man down with your words, or you could build him up. And if you learn that fine art of building a man up with the words that come out of your mouth, my goodness, it's a powerful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. All right, living good advice. I'm thinking about tennis. Somebody said getting rid of these student loans. I know that's right. All right, so we got 39 in the building. Man, somebody just called. But I think whoever just called, could you call back? I really think that we got it ironed out so we could get some calls going on this morning. I'm sorry, this evening. I'm sorry, Asia May. I apologize. I apologize. Try it again, Asia May, if you don't mind. I guess you say, man, he had the audio was bad. Now he can't get the phone calls. Just be patient with me. Just be patient. All right. Anybody else want to chime in? Want to talk about anything? Any questions you want to put in the chat? All right. Here we go. Let's see. Hopefully we got it.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello?
Yay.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I tell you what, I can hear you. Unfortunately, my listening audience can't hear. But what I'll do is I'll try and relay your questions and comments to them. So I apologize for that.
Okay, I just have commentary. So, and I'm a Baton Rouge native as well.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But I wanted to make some commentary.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I'm 28 years old, and I want to say I have never had a problem with men mistreating me or trying to play games with me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And so people, old and young women, they always ask me why, and I tell them it's because I'm very soft, I'm very gentle with men. I don't think women understand the art of femininity anymore, and it's bewildering to me because it's so simple. All you have to do is just chill and relax. And be soothing to me. Most men tell me that my spirit is very soothing to them, from the way I look to the way I talk to them. you know. So that's all they have to do. It's not anything hard. You don't have to chase after a man. If you feel like you have to chase after him, he don't like you, you know. So that's what it is.
That is excellent advice. And you said you're 27?
28.
28. Wow. I am so
Yes.
I am so impressed with you for going against the grain, because I'm pretty sure you may have some female friends who may be, may think that what you're saying is old fashioned or old school or outdated.
My mom doesn't listen to my advice, and I tell her, but I've had men in their 60s tell me, like, wow, like, women their age aren't like that anymore.
Yeah.
But it's not anything hard to do. I actually told one of my friends earlier today, if you constantly calling a man, or you always initiating the conversation, or you initiating him seeing you, he does not like you.
Yep.
So why would you continue to pursue that? He's showing you that he doesn't like you. Like, men speak in silence, and I learned that the hard way in a previous relationship that I had. I thought because I was perfect in the other aspects that men look for, that was enough, and I didn't know that certain things that I was doing, because I wasn't mature enough at the time.
Of course.
And certain things that I was doing when it came to handling conflict, he didn't care for. But a masculine man is not going to beat you over the head about your poor behavior as a woman. He's going to punish you with silence, and then he's going to remove himself from the situation. So that's my advice.
Thank you so much for calling in. You are a very, very wise lady, and I just commend you for that. And you need to get a podcast.
Huh?
You need to start a podcast.
Oh my God, you're like the third dude to tell me that. This has to do a course, or I need a podcast or something. Wow. Okay, that means a lot to hear you say that. Okay, I'm gonna do one now.
Well, great. And let me know. So.
Yeah, we neighbors. I could be a guest on yours.
Yeah, I like how you think. See, the way you think can save a lot of women a lot of pain and being miserable and broken hearts and nights where they can't sleep and days they don't want to get out of the bed. And I'm gonna be honest with you. See, yeah. I saw my mother go through it. So I saw it firsthand. I saw the damage that my daddy did to my mother. And I promise you, I do not want to see another woman go through what I saw my mother go through, because he gave her pure hell. And my mother actually thought that my daddy was going to change. Never. And then my mother, she hung in there. She finally found out, hey, this man ain't going to change. He's going to keep seeing his other side women in Chicago. He's going to keep running the streets. He's going to keep getting paid on Friday, go in the kitchen, pick a fight with me, slap me around a few days. He get paid on Friday. You might see him on Wednesday. So my mother got tired of that foolishness, moved us from Chicago down to Baton Rouge. That's how I got here. But I don't want to see another woman go through that. Because the pain and the scars that man left on my mother, no.
Yeah, you have to learn from other people's mistakes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Early, because I was a single mother as well. My mother has never been married. So for anybody who think, oh, well, maybe she had a daddy growing up, no, I didn't. But I chose to not be on that path. And I made it intentional that men will treat me well, that I demand respect. And if you're not going to respect me, then I'm going to remove myself. And it's not being abrasive with a man. It's just, and they tell me that, they say they like that I'm assertive like that. Like, they know from the jump that I'm not somebody to play with or get over on.
That's right.
But I am very soft with them. They just, yeah, they know who they can get over on and who they can't.
Thank you.
You don't have to be so docile
Yeah.
with men. I think that's where Black women go wrong, because some of us, you think the softer you are, the more he'll bend to your will, but it's the opposite. You have to have balance.
That's a great point. That is a great point. But yeah, get that podcast off the ground. I can see right now it's going to be successful.
I'm gonna come on your podcast.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're right here in Baton Rouge. Yeah, I would be glad to.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all my commentary, y'all.
All right. Well, you have a good night. Thank you for calling here.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right. So we got that problem worked out with the Bluetooth audio. Anybody want to call in? Phone line is free. Any questions in the chat? Asia brought up a real good point, and I would just like to throw this question out there. What do you ladies and guys who are listening, what do you think is that divide that's keeping men and women? It's like we can't get on the same page. It's looking like, men are going this way, even though men are saying that they're looking for a good woman. A lot of women are saying they're looking for a good man, but it looked like for some reason we can't get on the same page. And I've been asking myself, what's going on? What is it? Do you think that men and women, we're in competition with each other? Who makes the most money? Whoever makes the most money, that's who calls the shots in the household or whatnot. What do you think it is? Anybody like to chime in on that? Because it just seems like we have this huge wall up between men and women where we can't get on the same page. We can't get on one accord. All right, Christian Stewart says, so what about talking to a lot of men? Uh-oh, there we go. Hold on, I got to back that one up. Because I've heard people say we should let men do all the talking. Then I've heard people say women should be the chatty one. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. I was in the process of making a video about that, and that's one of the things that I address in my book. So let me just say this. I'm going to give you my definition of dating first, and then I'm going to talk about what Ms. Stewart just wrote in the chat. Okay. My definition of dating is a process between men and women, whereas both parties are seeking information from the other one to see if there's some chemistry, if there's some compatibility, and to see if there are some things, some common interest that both sides can build upon. And no sex. Okay? No sex. Now, if you talk to the old people, maybe your grandparents are still living, maybe some of you are fortunate enough, you got your great-grandparents still living, and they told you about back in those times what was known as the courting process, where once again, a man that was interested in a lady, he put his best foot forward with his actions, words, things of that nature, to show the lady that he's the best suited male for her. During that time, men knew that there were other men who were interested in the same lady that they were. There was no secret. All right, let me say that again. In that time, men knew that, hey, if I'm interested in her, guess what? There are other men interested in her as well. And so they didn't have a problem with that. Now, this is just me. Okay? This is how I look at it. I have no problem with a woman who is conversating with multiple men to ensure that she is not going too fast, putting all her eggs in one basket by committing to this one person without seeing what this person is about. Once again, no sex. And on top of that, be honest. Because men, we not crazy. Once again, we know if we're interested in you, there are some other men interested in you as well. But I think dating has changed to where we define dating as far as a committed relationship that involves sex. That's just me. If anybody want to call in dispute it, hey, that's fine. But if we could go back and redefine what dating is, once again, man and woman acquiring information, see if there's chemistry, see if there's a spark, see if there's some compatibility between the two, and we build on top of that, no sex. That's making the competitiveness of a man, in my estimation, come up higher because he knows that other men are interested in the same lady. So you may say I'm old-fashioned. You may say, God, dog, hold on. Hello, caller. Hold on 1 second. All right. Hello, caller. Can you hear me, caller? Hello? Can you hear me? All right, so we lost that caller. Hopefully, you can call back. All right, yeah, because once you have sex, you get way attached and it changes things. You can't think clearly. That's an excellent point, Christian. And I read something about how men fall in love with release of, that's a great point, with release of testosterone, which they get from competition. So they literally fall in love because of competing. Wow. That's strong. Backs up pretty much everything I've been saying in my book. So, elderly advice. I had an individual insist that I needed to decide to be in a serious relationship with him because he would never spend more than $7 on one date unless the person agreed to be exclusive. I hope you kicked him to the curb, Bump This, because you definitely did not need to be a part of that. See, anytime a man is insisting that you do something, that should be a red flag right there. When a man insists that you sleep with him, when a man insists that you cook for him, when a man insists that you do things that he wants you to do. See, that should be a red flag right there to indicate that this man is not the man for me. Because the man, a real man, is going to compromise. He's going to ask you, how do you feel about this? He's going to get your input on it. And then you two come to a reasonable decision. But all of that insisting. All right. Lord have mercy. Somebody, Taj, I apologize. Try it one more time. I promise you, I'm going to get it right this time. All right, Kristen Stewart, men need to learn how to compete again. All right, 78 days, that's a good point. But I promise you, 78 days, you could train a man how to compete for you. You really can. You really can. How do you train a man to compete for you? You got to make him work for every inch. You got to make him work for every inch. Man comes in your face, you're physically attracted to him, you find him attractive, nothing wrong with that. You know, when he approaches you, sooner or later he's going to ask you for contact information. You already know what I recommend. You tell him maybe. What does maybe do? Maybe makes him compete. It puts him in compete mode because he knows there's a 50% chance you may give him your phone number. There's a 50% chance you may not. With men, we block out that 50% chance of not getting your number, and we focus on what we need to do to get it. See, that puts us in compete mode right there. That one word, maybe. That's why if you ever notice, ladies, a man asks you for your phone number, you tell him no, he didn't just walk off. That's not in us to just walk off. We're gonna try harder. And then, you may tell him no a second time. He's still not walking off. He's gonna try something else. Well, I don't see anything wrong with us exchanging numbers. I'm a good guy. Why don't you just give me an opportunity? You may tell him no a third time. Still don't get it. Why? Because once we get in compete mode, we're locked in. And then that's why I always say, let him talk till he's blue in the face. Tell him something simple like, you know what? Now, this is the guy you're attracted to. If you're attracted to him, nothing wrong with that. But let him talk until he's blue in the face after you told him maybe. And then you hit him. You know what? I like your persistence. I really like that about you. I'm going to give you my email address. Guess what? He went to a higher compete mode. He'll email you. Why? Because once we're locked into compete mode, man, game is on. Now, I didn't mean that literally like game is on, like we're getting ready to run a game. No, you've trained us to get in compete mode. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, fill you ladies in on. You are naturally suited to bring out that competitive spirit in a man. But if you make it easy, man walks up to you within 5 minutes, he got your phone number, we got the phone number, we put it in our cell phone, we're watching your every move. What do I mean? We're watching your every move. We're watching to see if you walked off and got your car and drove off. Because if we see you got in your car and you drove off, guess what? We're going to get some more phone numbers. Ladies, don't ever think that when you gave a man your phone number, he stopped right there with just your phone number. Why? Because men, we're not going to gamble on just your phone number. Because you could wind up being the one that kicks us to the curb, that says, nope, I don't find you attractive, or, I gave you my number, I talked to you a couple of times, but I don't see a connection, I don't feel a connection. So no man is just going to get your phone number and say, it's over with. I don't know any man that does not play the numbers games. In other words, trying to talk to multiple females because depending on how you look, depending upon your sexual attractiveness, once again, some guys are just genetically blessed. They just got the looks, they got the body, they got the physique. And when they walk into a room, 100 women in the room, maybe whatever you fill in the blank, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about the average guys, the mid-tier guys. They already know, man, I got to hit these numbers. Get on Tinder. Man, I'm not swiping 50 times on Tinder. Man, I'm going to swipe 100 times on Tinder, and that's just in my home city. So if a guy is in Dallas, Texas, he's going to go in Tinder in Dallas, Texas. You think he's going to stop just in Dallas? No, he's not going to stop in his home city of Dallas. He's going to hit Houston. He's going to hit San Antonio. He's going to hit Austin. Then he's going to start branching out. Well, St. Louis is only, a few hours from here. Little Rock, Arkansas is only a few hours from here. Shreveport, Louisiana, only a few hours from here. So he's going to start hitting all those places based upon the city that he lives in. And say, okay, wait a minute. I live in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, well, I'm going to hit Mobile, Alabama. I'm going to Tinder in Montgomery, Alabama. Then I'm going to go move up to Nashville, Tennessee, straight up I-65. Then I'm going to hit Atlanta, Georgia. Ladies, please understand, this thing here has changed the whole landscape. When you're dealing with men in today's world, I'm just estimating that the average guy, I'm talking about average looks, average build, whatever, is dealing with anywhere between 5 and 13 women. Easy. I'm saying that's the average person because of this cell phone and social media. And that was just one dating app, Tinder. And we're not even talking about, let's say, something such as Cupid, or I hear the young folks talk about something that's called Bumble. We're not even talking about that. I'm in a very, very small city, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But the guys in Baton Rouge, they're not stopping just hitting ladies up in Baton Rouge. They say, okay, Houston is 4 hours away from Baton Rouge. Let's hit Houston. Lake Charles, Louisiana, 2 hours away. Let's hit Lake Charles. Lafayette, Louisiana, an hour away. New Orleans, Louisiana, roughly a little bit over an hour. Let's hit New Orleans. And that's happening all over the country. So can you just imagine men in a major city like Miami, a major city like Los Angeles, a major city like Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, Baltimore, oh my goodness, Washington, D.C.? Can you imagine a man in Washington, D.C., and you got Virginia, and you got Maryland, and you got all of... Oh, man, let me stop. The Bible says in the last days men will become... That's a great point. That's a great point. Echo, I'll be the first to admit I am not a biblical scholar, and I don't know how to interpret that, to be honest with you. It could be interpreted so many different ways. I just like to defer to that. Maybe someone who's in the chat, maybe someone may be better versed than me in the Bible. I heard that men are extra bad. Hey, Christian, I wouldn't be surprised if men in Baltimore, D.C. are extra bad. I would not. Listen, I just would not. Because that doggone cell phone, again, going back to the old days, I can remember a time where men, we look forward to a club that offered ladies' night. And basically, some of you may be super young, you don't understand what I'm saying. The club had a specific night that was set aside where ladies got in free and they drank at a discount. And men, we look forward to that. Why? Because where the ladies were at, guess what? The men coming. We following the ladies. So as men, man, we look forward to ladies' night, whatever club it was that had ladies' night, because we knew one thing: the ladies gonna be there, we're gonna be there. But now, it's ladies' night 24/7. We don't have to wait to Thursday night like back in the old days. Usually ladies' night was on a Thursday back in my day. But it's ladies' night 24/7. My goodness. We're not even talking about the men who are on these dating apps outside of the United States, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Brazil, Trinidad, Puerto Rico, all that stuff. Somebody said maybe you can try a nice gym in your area. All right, can you please give advice for a 43-year-old single woman, never been married, how to go about meeting men in person, not apps? Most guys my age are married. I feel like I'm in a danger zone. 43, that's a good age. Good age. Mature. You know the games that's being played out here. You can spot the games a mile away. You know what you want. You know what you don't want. Now I don't know what city you're in. You know, that factors in a lot. For example, on Monday night we had a lady called in. She was from Houston, and she said that she was having trouble meeting some men in Houston. And my response was, you're in one of the biggest cities in the United States. And still, that doesn't mean you don't have problems meeting men, but when you live in a city such as Houston or Dallas or New York, Los Angeles, you have such an abundance of people. But if CJ, if you could type real quickly, if you don't mind, what city you're in, or what state, or what city you're in, that would help me out a lot. And she says she does not prefer to meet men on dating apps. I do not blame you one bit on that one, because these dating apps are hit. Oh my goodness. It is so easy to lie and disguise your true identity on a dating app. Now, I'm not talking about that catfish stuff where you're really a fake person. I mean, you got your real pictures up or whatnot, but you're just hiding your true motives. And you can just type words up in a certain way that make you seem like you're just this sweet, wholesome, God-fearing person. And that's my biggest fear with these dating apps, because what are you doing? You're reading. You're looking at a profile. And again, we all like what we like. Some people are attracted to a certain look. Some people are not attracted to a certain look. But at the end of the day, I think we all can agree we like what we like. And sometimes we see that picture or that profile we like, we absolutely know nothing about that person other than what we can read on that profile. And it can be the furthest thing from the truth about that person. All right, Asia May said, maybe you can try a nice gym in your area. That's great advice, no doubt about it. Somebody said they have a lot of options there. Okay, I have 8:14 my time. I'll take a few more calls. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Let's see how many we got in the building. We got 48 in the building, 28 likes. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate it. Again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join in. Again, there are so many other things that you could be doing tonight, but I appreciate you so much taking time out to be here. Somebody said take a class. Has anyone given up on men? Has anyone gotten to a point where you feel that dating is a lost cause because so many people are playing games out here? So many people have a problem with being honest. Anybody? Yeah. Well, the gym is depending upon you know the circumstance. The gym can be a good place to meet people. Okay, so hopefully the audio was good tonight. Again, I apologize for anyone who tuned in on Monday and you had you really couldn't listen to the whole broadcast because of the technical difficulties we had with the audio. So hopefully it was a lot smoother tonight. Again, every Monday and Thursday, we'll do this. Let's see. Any questions about the book? I know there were some questions earlier. Somebody raised, especially the point about uh, instructions about creating an environment that's conducive for a man to be happy in. That's very, very, very important. All right, somebody said their pool is small. Wow. I know what you mean on that one. I haven't given up. I'm just ready to get out there. Okay, COVID has stopped a lot of dating, but I think next year will be a good year for everyone to start again. I don't know if they've made the announcement yet as far as Essence Festival, but if they do have Essence Festival this year, is anybody planning on going? Or has anyone heard that they're planning on doing Essence this year? All right, me to 78 days, I've bought clothes to start going out. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have been through a lot. Uh, I think that I think we're turning the corner on COVID as far as, we can see daylight through that tunnel. Somebody said they got a whole new wardrobe, shoes, bags, first time since freshman year of college. I do not blame you one bit. Enjoy life. Please enjoy life. Right on. Okay. So once again, I'll offer one last time for phone calls if there are no phone calls. Let's see. We've been on almost an hour and 20 minutes. I'm over the apps and the bar scene. Great advice. I don't blame you. Don't blame you one bit. Okay, so thank you everybody who joined in tonight. Will there be a Kindle version of the book? Actually working on that right now. Actually working on that Kindle version right now. All right, somebody said I plan to be at Essence Festival this year. You can purchase tickets. So Essence Festival is going to it is going to happen. They've made that decision. Somebody said I'll be flying out from California for Essence Festival. Hopefully they don't cancel. Okay, well that's good. They've made the decision to bring it back. I think we need that outlet, and Essence Festival is a beautiful event. All right, somebody said, how do you create an environment men rather come home to without including? She said, without including wifely duties. Hold on 1 second. Hello, caller. Yeah, hold on 1 second. For some reason, you're not coming in through the line. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me? All right. I apologize for that. Thought we had this thing figured out. If you would like to call back, please do. I'll wait a couple of more minutes. All right. What's your opinion on happy hours? Yay or nay? Happy hours is a great place to unwind. You know, let your hair down. You know, maybe you had a hard day at work. You want to get out and just unwind. It's a great way to unwind, in my honest opinion. Now, when you're talking about meeting men or meeting women, of course, like anything else, it's going to be hit or miss. It could happen there, maybe not. It could happen at your church, maybe not. It could happen. You could meet Mr. Right pumping gas, maybe not. You could meet Mr. Right in Sam's or Costco or wherever at the gym. But happy hour, it's a great place to unwind, and you got to remember this: there's nothing wrong with making friends too. How do I communicate my expectations? I believe in gender roles. My husband paying the bills, while I secure the home. No 50-50. Don't do wifey, destroys the respect. Okay. She said once again, how do I communicate my expectations? Now, my advice to you is, Valerie, is that those are your expectations. I respect those. The man should respect those expectations. Now, my advice would be to communicate those things in the relationship before it gets too far into the relationship. In other words, maybe not the first or second date, but maybe somewhere around the third or fourth date where you really don't have too much time and energy invested. Because it's very important to be honest, and it seems from your what you wrote that you're a very, very honest and upfront lady, and that's to be commended of you. But I think the earlier the better, but not too early as far as maybe that first or second date, because again, you're still in the phase of, trying to feel each other out just to see if there's a connection to go on a second date or a third date or whatnot. So I hope that answers your plans. Sorry, your question. I agree with that 2-drink minimum. Don't have any more of that. I look weird asking for something without alcohol. Okay. All right. Any other questions? 8:25. Again, I apologize for several people who called. I thought I had the device paired for Bluetooth, but unfortunately, it's hit or miss. So if you'd like to try and call one more time, I'll gladly try and take your call. Sorry about that, folks. All right. Somebody said, "Gosh, this chat room didn't like what I said and changed the words." What about my question? If you give viral and P, know where we get this advice from? Okay, I'm sorry. Obviously, I must have missed something. Sorry about that. Okay, so I think once again, I think I got the problem resolved with the phone line. Anybody want to try again? Elderly advice: how do you handle men who get upset when they figure out they earn less than you? Well, first of all, it's going to depend on how much you like the man. Now, I know some of you ladies may be looking at that and say, that's a very, very petty thing, and men should be above that. But ladies, please understand that the male ego is very, very, very fragile. It can be, it's, I know a lot of times as men, we walk around like we're made out of concrete and we're made out of steel, and we try and present this aura like, we're just made out of iron and, we're just rah, 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 rah. But see that ego that we have is very fragile, and it can be bruised very, very easily. And you can tell a lot of times when our ego is bruised because we'll overcompensate. And if we go back to the chat where she talks about how can we handle men by bump this. How do you handle men when they get upset, when they figure out they earn less than you? Again, I know it seems petty to some of you ladies about, why some men may get upset about that, but that male ego is fragile. And see, one thing about men, as I talked about earlier, that natural instinct that we have to dominate, nothing makes a man feel more like a man than taking care of the household, than feeling that feel of being needed, that feel of being that feel of being the man, paying the bills, earning the money to keep the household afloat, putting the weight of the relationship or the weight of the family on our shoulders. See, we feel good about that, and that's a part of our makeup. Whereas, for us, we get that high, that natural high, knowing that we're the breadwinner, and again, we're taking care of the family. We're the backbone of the family. But I think it comes back to bump this. See, when a man, when we feel like we're not needed, not saying that you made him feel that way, but a lot of times when a man realizes that his significant other, her salary may be here and his salary may be here, you know, a lot of times that ego will come into play. And, you know, when that ego kind of gets bruised, we can overcompensate by reacting a lot of times in a negative way. Because once again, one of the things we love about being a man is feeling like a man. You know, doing our manly duties. We really, really, really enjoy that. See, for example, sex. We only got a few minutes, so I'm gonna get up out of here. See, sex. See, a man can have sex with a woman, and we'll go after the sex act is over with. Sometimes we'll go into the bathroom, and as a lady, you may think, well, he's just going there to take a shower and wash up or whatnot. But let me let you ladies in on a secret. See, after sex, we'll go in that bathroom, know what we'll do? We'll close that door, and we'll beat our chest like an ape. Say, yeah. Man, I handle my manly business. And we'll look in that mirror and we'll start talking to ourselves. Yeah, boy, you did that, boy. You heard how she was in there hollering? Boy, you heard, huh, boy. Yeah, boy, you took care of that. You did that. And then we'll come out of that bathroom and come back in the room and you like, you stayed in there a long time. Well, you know, I was just doing whatever. But see, that's that manly instinct in us that makes us go in that bathroom and beat on our chest like a gorilla. And that's something, again, you ladies don't understand. You see, it's that ego. And again, when that ego is bruised, ooh, that's a hurtful thing. You know, there's some ways in which you ladies, you could bruise our ego. You know, telling a man he's horrible in bed. Oh, my goodness. That ego just turned into an eggshell, fractured. Telling a man your ex was better than him in certain things. Oh, my goodness. Crushes us. So, again, I know you're saying, well, what the hell that got to do with the question? But again, it's petty. It really is when a man, our significant other, is making, you know, this type of money and we're making this type of money. But if you could just hang in there with him, bump this. I don't know if it's at a point to where, you know, you just can't get over it. But if you really like the man, I would suggest that, you know, you inflate his ego by telling him how much he means to you and how much of a vital part of your life he is and how much he how much he contributes to your well-being, things of that nature. And that can help build that ego back up. Because if you ladies think, once again, just because you see a man and he's 6'5", 250 pounds solid, he got an ego just like any other man, and it's fragile and it could be bruised. Somebody said, no dating for me this pandemic. I do not blame you one bit on that. Somebody said, does it make a difference how much the woman enjoyed it to how he feels? Well, again, I'm just giving you from a male perspective, what we do. And you may have talked to some of your boyfriends. You may have walked in on him, and you walked in the bathroom, he's in there beating his chest or whatnot. What the hell you in there doing? Thank you so much for the super chat, Amy Sue. I really appreciate it. Why do men treat women who move from out of town for their careers poorly? That's a great question. That's a great question. Again, that kind of falls back on what I just talked about, that ego. All right? Because you got to understand, you moving out of town, I don't know how far out of town you moved to, but men, of course, we got feelings. You know, we get attached. We get emotionally attached. You know, men cry. Men have feelings just like ladies. Maybe not more emotional, but we still have feelings. And so when you are emotionally attached to someone, and then you find out, okay, they're moving out of town once again for a career move, a lot of times, like I said in the previous answer, a lot of times that bruises our ego. Because we feel that, okay, why not stay here and be with me and let me take care of the load? But it seems like this was a career move. I don't know the situation, and I don't blame you one bit for moving to advance your career, if that's what the bottom line was. But men, when it comes down to us, and remember, ladies, what I talked about earlier, that natural instinct to dominate, see, that basically means, we want our way pretty much all the time because we fear that our way is the best way. You ever been in the car with a man, and as a lady, you're on the passenger side, and you get to a point where he's lost. The part of town that he's in, driving on the interstate or whatever, got off on the wrong exit, he's lost because you could tell. Okay, you made a left here, you just made that left. We're going around in circles or whatnot. See, the last thing that man wants to do is what? Admit to his girlfriend or wife or fiance that he's lost. He don't know where he is. So we would rather just go around town, just trying to find our way through, making wrong turns, getting deeper off of the path that we need to be going, just because we do not want to admit to our girlfriend or our wife or our fiance that we are lost and we do not know where we are. We ain't doing that. So we'll just keep making wrong turns, and we praying that sooner or later we get back to a place that can get us back on the right highway. So you may be saying, well, what about GPS? That ego. Just us having to pull on the side of the road and say, you know what, baby, let me recalibrate this GPS system or whatnot. That's too much for us to do. Because why? We're gonna think that you think that we're weak. And that's the last thing a man wants his lady to think about him. Amy Sue, thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate it. Somebody said, let me get my popcorn. Somebody, that's what we do in the bathroom, Major May. I promise you. I know y'all looking at me like, men don't do, I promise you. If it was a sexual encounter, come on now, we all grown. If it was a sexual encounter and we know, ladies, that you were all in it, so how do we know that you all in it? Because of the things that you say. Now, come on now. I don't think that needs any explanation. But we know when it was that real sexual encounter. Boy, I promise you, we go in that bathroom and we, yeah, damn Skippy, boy. Boy, you a man, boy. Boy, you handle that. Heard how she was in there hooping, hollering, telling you this yours, daddy, this yours, daddy, this yours. Yeah, son, that's yours. So, yeah, that's what goes on in that bathroom. I promise you, he went in there and beat his chest like a gorilla. That's just one of those masculine things. But that ego could be bruised. All right, could you touch on the subject of men bumming in the beginning of the relationship? Oh, okay, so I'm guessing you're saying bombing as far as not meeting your standards? All right, let me see. Thank you for explaining the getting lost while driving thing. Oh, you can relate to that, Charmaine Joseph? I promise you, I'm going to get to that question now, see. But again, men, if we lost, we ain't saying, I promise you, if a man is lost, the hell with that GPS. We're not going to get put on the side of the road and reprogrammed, not in front of you. Now, if the lady, our girlfriend, fiance, wife, if you were not in the car, man, we're going to pull on the side of the road and ask for directions or whatever. But if you're in that car, we're not asking anybody for directions. Nope, because it's going to bruise that ego. Why? Because you sitting right there. And no man, once again, wants to look weak or look lost in front of his wife or his woman or his significant other. So we would rather just keep making blocks, keep trying to figure it out. And a lot of times we're getting deeper and deeper and deeper off track to where we need to be. But what do? We don't say nothing. I'm sorry for the typo. Maybe it's because Charmaine Joseph said, yes. What do you think about? All right, I'm trying to go back to this question. I said, okay, let me get to this real quickly. Could you please touch on the subject of men bombing in the beginning of the relationship? Usually, men who bomb at the beginning of the relationship, those are the type of men, first of all, thank God he bombed. You ought to be glad that he bombed. Because whatever that bomb was that caused him to bomb, that saved you a whole lot of heartache, pain, things of that nature. But usually when that happens, men, they just tried too hard. Either tried too hard or they were trying to play a role in which they really were not, and you caught on to it. Because, when you talk about, that's another thing, going back to what I talk about female leverage. See, you ladies, if you only knew your female leverage, and what do I mean in this particular instance? See, men, we go out of our way to try and impress you. We don't care if we got to lie. We'll lie and say we work at this place. We'll lie and say we make X amount of dollars when we really don't. We'll lie and say, we got this amount of money in our bank account. We'll lie and say we live in this type of home. We will. And I'm pretty sure this is nothing new. I'm pretty sure you've caught me in a lot of lies later on down the line where he said that, he worked at this place, but he really worked here. He said that his job title was this, but his job title is really this. So then you may confront him. Hey, well, why'd you lie? We lied because that female leverage. See, every man wants to impress the woman that he's with. Every man. It's just in our DNA. And sometimes in order to impress, sometimes some men just go overboard and just do what? Lie, 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 lie. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right at all. But I'm just trying to get you ladies to understand the power that you have and how men will try to impress you. Listen, let me tell you ladies something. A man, we could actually live in a cardboard box. Or we could live in a studio, a 1-bedroom apartment, and be fine. As long as, once again, we got dominion over that. We feel that we are the king in that 1-bedroom apartment. We feel like we're the king in that studio. We feel like we're the king in that cardboard box. We could easily live in one of those conditions and we're good. But when you see men, when we buy the biggest houses, the most extravagant cars, things of that nature, the finest suits, who the hell you think we doing that for? You. Why? We're trying to impress you. That's the power that you ladies have. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. I'm pretty sure over the course of your lifetime, if you think about it, you've met some men, and all they talked about is what? The things that they have, the material things they have, the jewelry, the cars, the money, the disposable income. And you may have been attracted to the guy, but you say, you know what? All he talks about is material stuff, the stuff he has. And you may not even be interested in that stuff. And you keep asking yourself, well, why does he continue to talk about his material things, the things that he has acquired, the things that he has? He's trying to impress you. Now, he may be going about it the wrong way, and it actually may be doing him more harm than good, but he's trying to impress you. Why? That's the power that a woman has. No man wants to look inferior in front of his woman. No man wants to look weak in front of his woman. You saw what just happened a few nights ago, Will Smith. Now, no matter how you look at it, hey, whatever opinion you have on that, that's up to you. But that's a perfect example of Will Smith saying, not with her sitting there. Now, I'm not saying what he did is right. Nope, not saying that at all. But that's just part of a man's makeup. No, we ain't looking weak in front of a woman. That's not happening. Even if we got to go out there and we get whipped, we're going to scrap. Why? Because you right there. You women, powerful, powerful, powerful. You are very powerful. This not going to lie. I feel like a loser because he's marrying that girl. I must have missed that one. Somebody said, since I've been single, I had so much peace in your life. Yes, enjoy your peace. Nothing like peace. You should do a video on the Will Smith thing because that makes so much sense. And I never heard anyone say it like that. Well, thank you so much for the comment. But ladies, I'm gonna tell you something. Of course, men and women, we have some major differences in the way we are biologically made up. But I promise you, when it comes to women, we're not gonna seem weak in front of you. We want to be your protector. We want to be your hero. We want you to put all of the burdens of life and the family and the work and the infrastructure. See, we want you to put all that on our shoulders and you just go to sleep and have a good 8 hours of sleep at night, and you let us handle the heavy lifting with the bills and things of that nature. But I think a lot of this, again, stems from, that, as I said earlier, that male ego is so easily bruised. And you say, well, why is it like that? If we're married, I happen to make more money than him, he makes less money than me, it's still going into the same, into the same pot. It is, but we don't feel like that though. We don't feel like that. See, again, you can't put a price tag on a man feeling like a man. That's just one of the things that makes us feel like a man when we can look around that whole house and say, we're taking care of the manly duties around that house. So when the wife or the girlfriend or the significant other is making more money than us, the ego starts to get attacked, starts to bruise, and we start feeling what? Less than a man in some cases. All right. Why do men get married? That's a good question. Where are somebody said, where are those men? Wow. All right. 8:50, my time. I think a couple of people over there in California, you might be. I wish I could come across those men. Oh, trust me, Miss Angie B, they're out there. I promise you that. They are out there. Don't know what city you live in, but whatever city you're in, there are some real, real good men out there. And hopefully, you can connect with them. Same way I know that there's some real, real good women out there. Great women out there. I mean, any man that's going around saying that there are no good women out there, I can't even see how they can even part their lips to say that there are no good women out there. Plenty. So many. But again, this world that we live in. Thank you so much, Charmaine. Don't forget to click like and share. Thank you so much. I'll have some more videos dropping tomorrow and Monday as well. Again, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your taking time away from your busy schedules to tune in. I really appreciate it. Let's see, I got 8:51 my time here in Louisiana. If there are no more phone calls, no more questions, we can pick this up Monday, 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm so glad you said that about Will. He's taking a lot of heat for slapping Chris. He was exactly. See, okay. Once again, I'm not saying Will Smith was right. I'm not saying that. But it's in a man's DNA. It's in our makeup to protect our woman. And in that particular instance, he saw how offended his wife was with that comment. I can't think of too many men who would not have done what Will Smith. People, Will Smith is not crazy. He knows what he's risking. He knew what was on the line when he was walking up to Chris Rock. He knew what was on the line. It could cost me my career. It could cost me future endorsements. It could cost me, Will Smith, if I'm not mistaken, makes somewhere around, 20 million per movie? You think he wasn't thinking about that could cost him the next leading role in future films, making minimum 20 million a year? You think he wasn't thinking about that? But guess what? Like I said, that natural instinct to dominate. I always tell people, men and dogs are the same. You put a male dog and a female dog in a fence together, in a house together, and you let another dog, male dog, walk up and think that he could mess with that female dog. No, that male dog is going, they getting ready to scrap. Because what? It's that instinct to dominate. No, this is my old lady. I'm sorry, I'm old school. I said old lady. I apologize for that. This is my wife. This is who I go to bed with. This is the woman that I make love to. So no. I'm going into attack mode. So again, that's just built into a man. Men, we ain't looking weak in front of, no indeed. We'll jump off a bridge, jump off a cliff before we look weak in front of our ladies. Because what you ladies don't know, when that thing hits us, it's like an adrenaline rush that says attack, don't back off. And so I can understand, when Will made that decision, because rational thinking goes out the window. You don't even think about you're going to lose the endorsements. You don't even think about that. Small men. If you talk to men who have been in a fight If you just talk to a lot of men who've been in a fight, you know one of the things they'll tell you some of their worst fights have been with smaller men. Smaller men. Men who they just looked at and say, boy, I'll whoop your behind. You better get up out of here. And they size that smaller man up and just start that their physical size, that size advantage they had was going to be enough to beat that smaller male. That's a lot of cases, that'll be your worst. That's a man's worst nightmare. Messing with another man who's smaller in stature than them, he's going to fight like a grizzly bear. Till you get to the point, just say, man, go on about your business, man. That's it. I don't want no more smoke with you. No more smoke with you. Short people, smaller people, they ain't backing down. Fight you like a bull. Make you wish you never would have tangled with that shorter or that smaller man, please. All right, somebody said he should have dealt with that. That's a good point, but what I'm trying to say, Miss Angie B, is, see, if he would have dealt with that after the show, and again, Miss Angie B, I know it may be hard for you to comprehend because you're not a man. See, it's something in us as a man that say, right now. The hell with tomorrow, the hell with 5 minutes from now, I got to handle that right now on the spot. Right now on the spot. So, not saying he's right, but I could definitely understand how that natural instinct to dominate can come into play, and you like, I ain't thinking straight. I'm about to handle this. I'm pretty sure you ladies have heard of something that's called a crime of passion. What is a crime of passion? A lot of times, men have done things, harmed people, and the reason that they harmed them was because their significant other, wife or whatnot, a lot of times was caught in a sexual act with another man. And they say the crime of what? Passion. In other words, they walked in on that sexual act, all rational thought did what? Go clean out the window. No reasoning, no logical thinking, no rational thinking. I want revenge right now, on the spot. The man, you got to die, in some cases, caused harm to the lady. I'm not saying it's right, but a lot of times they went to court, and the court ruled that it was what? A crime of passion. Wasn't thinking straight. Because your mind was blocked by those feelings of love and hatred and betrayal. It's a powerful thing. Yeah, thank you. Somebody said, I understand the crime of passion theory. Thank you, Swayze. Yes, I've heard of it. It's a powerful thing. And again, a lot of times you go to court, and if you're able to prove that crime of passion, sometimes the person just gets a slap on the wrist. So I'm going to tell you, that's a powerful thing. All right, let's see. We got 50 in the building. Were you in the middle advising on how to go about meeting men? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, bump this. Let me get your question back up there. All right, so you said you were in the middle of advising on how to go about meeting men. I'm 43. I'm in New York City. Ooh, you're in the Big Apple. Oh, my goodness. If I'm not mistaken, the Big Apple, what? 15 million people? Okay, so how do you go about meeting good men? You're in a place such as New York City. First thing I would do, bump this is just me. If I were a woman, if I were trying to meet a quality type man, okay, especially in a city such as New York City, if I were you, if I were a woman, I'm going to go to places such as downtown New York, the arts, the opera. I'm going to go to different type of cultural places in New York City and explore those places. But while I'm exploring those places, this is just me. I'm going to make sure that I stand out as an ultra feminine lady. What do I mean by ultra feminine lady? Dresses and heels. I don't know how the weather is up there, but let's say the weather is getting warmer and the weather conditions are suitable for dress and heels. Ladies, I made a video on this, but nothing exudes femininity, class, style, elegance, and grace as when a man sees a woman in a dress and heels. It's something about the dress and those heels that just accentuates all of your femininity. Why is that important? Because, see, masculine men, we don't need any help being masculine. We got this down pat, being masculine. So we don't need any help being masculine. But that doggone femininity, you cannot put a price tag on that when we don't even know you. We absolutely know nothing about you, and we take a glance of you out of the corner of our eyes, and we see you walking down Times Square, and you are so feminine with the heels on and the dress. That's number one to me, if you're trying to stand out and just make a man lock his eyes on you. Because I promise you, men, we will lock eyes on you, and those eyes will follow you. You go in that direction, we're going to just be following you that whole way. And we're going to be saying, my goodness, who is that? So number one, again, you want to put yourself in a position where men notice you. And one of the easiest ways to get noticed, in my opinion, as women, is be feminine. And again, like I said, to me, nothing exudes more femininity than a woman that's in a dress and shoes, heels or whatnot. So now you got our attention. Why? Because you stand out. Now we're looking. My goodness, who is that on aisle 7? My goodness, who's over there across the street pumping gas? My goodness, who is that at the Brooklyn Nets game on aisle 10? Who is that lady? And we don't even know you, but you've gotten our attention just like that. Because that visualization and that vibe that you sending off, that you're soft, that you're feminine, and then you're standing out. You got our attention. I promise you, we're going to approach you. There's no ifs, ands, but about it. When we spot class, style, elegance, when we spot all of those things in a woman, and you know how you women know how to accentuate that walk. And you got the walk, you got that glide in your step, and you walking like those heels were tailor-made for you. My goodness, you talking about some attention, and it's going to be the good attention. It's not going to be that, say, shawty, come here, let me holler at you. No, it's not going to be that say shawty stuff. It's going to be real grown man conversation. Good afternoon, how are you doing? My name is Thomas, whatever, and then go from there. I mean, it's going to be that real type of attention where men compliment you. And men want to be around you. Why? That doggone femininity. Ladies, that's a weapon that you have. That's a weapon that you have. I see. If you would, I think if you just would unleash that weapon of femininity more, my goodness, especially the ones who are saying that you're having a hard time meeting quality men. Put that dress and the heels on. and you watch the amount, you watch how your attention goes up, and not just the attention that you're going to get from men, the good attention, the compliments, the kind gestures, men opening up the doors for you, men running in front of you. You could be in front of them. We could be behind you. We see you getting ready to go in that door. We'll run and get in front of you just to open up that door for you. Because why? You're exuding femininity. You're exuding the qualities that men look for when they say, I'm looking for the type of woman I could take home to mama, or wife material, or fiance material, things of that nature. So that's what I would suggest. Somebody said, thank you, girl. Somebody said, old school players. Uh-oh. Somebody said, yeah, I'm fit. No, I got to put this in the chat. Yeah, I'm 50 weight. I wear 3-inch heels. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Charmaine Joseph. Especially if in the dress is long because you can't see. See that? See? Thank you, Charmaine, for that. Somebody said, I'm 5'8 1/4. I like heels, but the extra height I'm uncomfortable with. Well, Latina Jones, again, the last thing I would suggest is you putting on something that you're uncomfortable with, because that's defeating the purpose. So if you're not uncomfortable with it, if you're not comfortable with it, of course, you got to do what's best for you. All I'm saying is, I'm just saying it from a male's perspective. If you're trying to stand out from other ladies, I promise you, that dress and combined with the heels, I mean, it's like a magnet for us. And I'm not saying in a bad way, man, we'll follow you around in the grocery store. And you'll be like, wait a minute, I just saw him on aisle 3, now I'm on aisle 10, and he's on the same aisle. And then you go on aisle 15, and you look over your shoulder, and you say, wait a minute, now he's on aisle 15. Now, understand this. We're not talking about that creepy stalker type. It's just that attraction. That when we saw you, it's like, man, I'll follow this woman around the whole store. And I ain't no creep. I ain't no pervert. But she's just, that attraction that I have to her, just based on how she's dressed. My goodness. So again, you ladies, pay attention sometimes. Especially when you're at the grocery store and you may see the man, you saw him on this side of the store, you went to a totally different side of the store, and you peep over your shoulder, and he's right there. That man's attracted to your attire in a lot of cases. Now, a lot of times, it could be you so sexy, the man would be like, man, I'm going to get as many looks as her as possible. But that dress and heels, oh my goodness, it does wonders. All right. The problem I was saying is that most men my age are married, and there are more women than men in New York City. We're in the same boat. All right. What do you do when most men your age are married? In New York City? Okay. I'm not from New York City, so I don't have a clue. I want to know what's the youngest age you would consider dating a woman. Let me see. I guess Tasha Williams, you're presenting that question to me. I'm guessing so. At 54, I would say 30. I would say around 35, 36. Probably no less than 35. My interest, things I like to do would probably be real incompatible with somebody, in their 20s or whatnot. Not even saying somebody in their 20s would be attracted to me, but I mean, even if they were, I doubt if my interest levels would be on the same page as them. Maybe someone around 35, 36, they may meet that cutoff where, some of the things that I like can be compatible with maybe some of the things that she likes or whatnot. Somebody say go older. Wait a minute. Well, y'all got a whole new chat going on. Older men, if they are good men, will over appreciate attractive good women. That's a great point. I agree. It happens all the time. What you're saying is so true. Men from all backgrounds will approach. Amen to that. Somebody say I'm 29. Oh Lord, 29. Let me see. I'm 54. I'm old enough to. How old? I'm old enough to be. I'm old enough to be almost your pawpaw. I mean, girl, I'm 30. We are just beginning. There you go. There you go. Man, Teddy Pendergrass made a song about love TKO. And one of the things he was talking about was taking the bumps and the bruises of all the things of a two-time loser. And I'll be the first to admit, Teddy said he was a two-time loser. I'm probably about a 6, 7-time loser. So that's why, I'm really, 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 really taking my time now in the dating scene because the old saying, hurt people. And if you look at one of my videos, I talk about it in detail. But a few years ago, I was living in Phoenix, Arizona, and I met a woman who was arguably the best woman that I ever met in my life. And she died of breast cancer. And man, that was been some years ago, but that still haunts me today. And I'll be the first to admit that I'm still not 100% completely over it. Because she was good, no doubt about it. I mean, she was everything a man could want in a lady, and to see to see the hopes and the dreams that we had planned for each other, just go up in flames the way it did. It was a very, very rough part of life for me. So that's where I am right now. Give him your email. Got to follow the playbook. Yeah, give him that email. I promise you, that email is going to put him in compete mode. But before the email, you got to hit him with maybe when he asks for the phone number. Oh, thank you. Somebody said, sorry for your loss. Thank you, Jackie Singleton. Bump This said, sorry for your loss. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's just a part of life. It really is, because in my younger years, I'll be the first to admit that I had so many great women in my life, and I mistreated them. I didn't do right by them. I cheated and went to the strip clubs and hung out with my boys and neglected their feelings and, just didn't do right by them. And so, I'll be the first to admit that I messed up a lot of relationships before I met the lady who I was telling you about in Phoenix. So by the time I moved to Phoenix, I had learned my lesson as far as when you have good women in your life, how to treat them. And so I was totally committed to her 100%. And then she got diagnosed with the cancer, and it seems like that cancer took her out just so quick. She was out of here. So, that's just life, and just a part of life. So it's where the ball bounces sometimes. I'm 3 years out of a narcissistic, abusive relationship. Well, congratulations. Congratulations. You're out of there. I'm 50 years old, but I usually told I look in my early 30s. I prefer to date in my age or older. For some reason, older men like me, but for some reason, they always say I'm too beautiful. Well, that's a compliment. LC, that's a great compliment. Then, what does it say? I don't look my age and too beautiful and probably have many guys after me. That's a good thing. Bump this. Congrats on your escape. Yes, yes, yes. So, as I read some of these chats, it seems like, a lot of people, we have things in common. And I think we all can agree that life is short, really short. Even for I think some people comment that they were 29 and 30 years old. The best advice I can give you is live life because it goes by so quickly. I can remember my 20s like it was yesterday. And now I'm in my mid-50s. And so enjoy life because it's a precious thing that's given to us. And we're not promised tomorrow. So please enjoy life. What do you think of women dating younger men? Go for it. Hey, listen, if you're happy, older women dating younger men, are you happy? How does that young man make you feel? Does he respect you? Does he respect your boundaries? Does he love you? Not only does he love you, does he show you that he loves you? Because men, don't go by talk, because we'll talk whatever talk we think you want to hear. But again, if the younger man makes you happy, hey, once again, live life. Please live your life. Makes you once bitten, twice shy. Amen to that. Somebody said my son is 31. Oh, my goodness. She said her son is 31. Hey. All right. But let's see. Got 68 in the building. I appreciate all 68. My son is 31. Not raising another child. No one below 30. I'm 56. Hey, I totally respect that, Angie B. You're so right. It feels like I was 21 yesterday. Now I'm about to hit 30, but I wish I could be 30. Wait a minute now. I thought you were going to say you're about to hit 50. Come on, Tasha. Come on, Tasha. She said I'm about to hit 30. You are still young. You better enjoy those 30s. I promise you better enjoy those 30s. Because once again, you get in those 50s, 60s, it's a whole different ball game. God is good. Congratulations on being free. So true. Life goes by. Yes, it does. It goes by so quickly. So please, people, enjoy life. If you find somebody you're happy with, do that. But it's very important. You let that person know. Let that person know how they feel, how you feel about them. Let that person know how much you appreciate them. Let that person know how much you appreciate the small gestures that they do. That's very important, because a lot of people are not fortunate. You would be surprised how many people have, you would look at their life and you would look, you've been on the outside looking in, you will look at some people, they seem like they got it all together. They got the career, they got the income, making the right salary, well educated, they got that pedigree going on. It seems like they got so many positive things going on. But see, once they leave the job, they leave the friends, they leave the country club, they leave that setting, and they go home, in a lot of cases, to that home, and that home is empty, and they're the only ones in there. A lot of people are suffering from depression because on the outside, everything looks so good. Everything looks so perfect. On paper, the house, the cars, all the material things, traveling the world, and, the sororities, and just things that some people say they would give their right and left arm for. But once again, a lot of times they go home, when that door closes behind them, they look around that big old house, getting that big king-size bed, feel lonely, empty. Not a good feeling. Thank you so much, Karen, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Just wanted to say thank you for all your excellent advice and wisdom. I've learned so much. Thank you so much, Karen. I really, really appreciate your super chat. Thank you for that donation. What about not feeding the ego in the beginning thing? What if we feed it too much verbally just because we genuinely like them or we are having fun? All right, let's talk about that real quickly. Once again, thank you, Christian Stewart, for that super chat. Let me answer this one. First of all, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Bronwyn B. Okay, so she's saying, what about not feeding the ego in the beginning thing? What if we feed it too much verbally just because we genuinely like them or we're having fun? Okay, this is my take on that. I just call you Miss B. Miss B, from a man's perspective, okay, there's nothing wrong with showing a man that you like him, but to me, there are different ways in which you can do it than verbally telling him, because a lot of times those words, even though those words can be genuine, those words, once again, can puff our egos up so much where it takes us out of compete mode. And a lot of times when we're not in compete mode for you, we'll start to take you for granted. Okay, so what do I mean by that? When you're dealing with a man and you're telling a man, especially in the initial stages, how much you like him, how much you enjoy him, how special he is. You may tell him, I feel like I've been knowing you forever. It seems like we have this special bond. We have this special connection. You just make me feel so good whenever I'm around you. See, men, when we're hearing those things, this is our ego right here. It's going, whoop, whoop. So, I like you a lot. Whoop. Oh, you're so special to me. I feel that you're the right man for me. Every time I'm around you, I just feel so secure. See, every time you compliment him, Miss B, see that ego and that natural instinct to dominate is rising. And so what's going to happen is, in a lot of cases, we're going to feel that we don't have to compete for you. Why? Because you're making things too easy for us. See, when we find out that in the initial stages that you have shared that much intimate information about how you feel for us off the bat, see, we've already predicted that sex is right around the corner with you. We've already predicted. So if you meet a man, let's say you meet him on a Saturday, and you may talk to him that first time, let's say on a Tuesday, that following Tuesday, what is that, 2 or 3 days after you met him. And that Wednesday, let's say you have a great conversation that Tuesday, you talk with him that Wednesday, and then Thursday, you just start to unload about how much you enjoy the conversation is stimulating. Let's say you may have gone on a walk in the park with him, something that seems simple and innocent, and you start telling him, you start revealing to him how you feel. I promise you, we're listening to every word that you're saying, and that ego is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And one of the worst things as a lady that I feel that you can do is become predictable. Because once we figure once we can almost figure out your patterns and your trends, if I call you at 8 o'clock at night, you don't answer, but you call me within 5 minutes, that quick. I text you at 8 o'clock at night, you text me right back at 8:01, or sometimes 30 seconds after I initiated that first text. And then I say, wait a minute, I might be on to something. Let me hit her right back then. And then you hit him right back. And then he hits you back, bam, bam. And you hit him right back, bam, bam. See, we're taking mental notes of those things. We're like, okay, so every time that I text her or call her, she hits me right back. Oh, I think I'm on to something. I think she likes old boy. I think she's feeling old boy. Guess what? I think that she wants to give old boy some you know what. See, that's how that thing works. We start building upon that momentum. Yeah, I think she wants to give me her body, some sex. Doesn't mean that's what you want to do, but we start predicting those things based upon how gushy and how quick you start revealing these things. So our conclusion is, well, wait a minute. If she's letting me know all of this off the bat, that means sex is right around the corner. So I'm just going to hang in there and play whatever role I got to play, good boy, choir boy, text. I'm attentive. I'm just going to play that role, and sooner or later, the panties will come off. That's how we think. So that's why I'm a firm believer that even though you are attracted to him, and guess what? Nothing wrong with being attracted to him. Nothing wrong. But in my honest, humble opinion, as a man, you're making a tremendous mistake, in my opinion, when you reveal too early to a man how much you like him or how much you feel toward him. Because we'll take that and run with it. And like I said, we'll start predicting, and God forbid we start having sex with you. Like I said, after sex, that's when the true colors come out. And then sometimes we'll get tired of having sex with you. We put you in our hip pocket or put you on the shelf and say, well, look, I'm just going to deal with you only when I get horny and want to deal with you. That's not a good situation. Because in your estimation, you thinking everything is going good. But sometimes in our estimation, we looking at you like, well, it's only sex. So I'm not saying that's how it works all the time, but you have to be aware of these things, especially ladies, when you're talking about revealing to a man so soon how much you feel about him. You got to be very, very careful about that. Right, the outside looks good, but the soul is dark and damaged. Amen. So true. After being married for half my life, then losing my husband, even still having the wealth, world travels, family, friends, career, nothing. Amen. Thank you, Coach Patty. Excellent advice. Super chat. Thank you so much for that super chat, Amy Sue. How do you cope when men/boys think you are in your teens or 20s, but you are really in your 40s? People in my age group do not approach me. I promise you, Amy Sue, I'm going to get back to that super chat. I just wanted to see what Miss B's response was. I always tell them sex is not on the table, LOL. I'll tell them I'm old school. All right, excellent advice. Akoya, you're so right about men showing up looking for you where he first encountered you. Happened to me. You doggone right. We will follow you. All right. Let me get to the super chat real quick. Thank you so much once again, Amy Sue. I really appreciate you for that. She says, how do you cope when boys think you are in your teens or 20s, but you are really in your 40s? People in my age group do not approach me. First of all, Amy Sue, you are fortunate for people to to be in your 40s and people associate you with being in your teens or 20s, that means you look very young for your age. So, number one, that's a compliment. Now, I don't know what type of men that you're into. I mean, whatever it is, that's totally up to you. But again, from a genetic standpoint, it sounds like you are genetically blessed, genetically fortunate to be in your 40s, and people associate you with being a much younger lady. Now, when you say men in your age group do not approach you, I don't know the places that you go to or whatnot, but again, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you have men, let's say, if you have younger men that think you're in your teens and you're in your 20s, well, I guess it's only natural for the older men to think the same way. So if you got younger men, they think you're in your teens or 20s, guess what? The older guys, they're going to see it the same way. So maybe it's because the older men are looking at you like you're, 19, 21, 22, or whatever, and they looking at you like, nah, out of my age group. Or if you look that good, you'd be surprised how many men will size you up and just say, not only are you out of my age group, you just out of my category. Because again, you got some men out there that ego, as I talked about earlier in the podcast, that ego is very fragile. And some men would rather just not approach rather than approaching and face that risk of what? Rejection. Every man cannot handle rejection. So it may be, Amy Sue, that again, you're such a beautiful and attractive lady that some men look at you and say, I know a beautiful, attractive lady like that has somebody in her life. She got to be dealing with someone. So I'm not going to approach her and I get rejected. And then I got to walk way back to my car or way back, across the street or way, wherever he came from. Because I'm going to tell you something, ladies. The majority of the men I know do not mind approaching women. But there is a significant selection of men who just cannot, that ego cannot handle rejection. And so they'll look at you and just, my God, she's so beautiful. Man. But to come up with the courage to approach you, that's a whole nother level that some men, they just would rather not. They just let that fear overtake them and they just say, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Because they can't handle you saying, thank you, I'm not interested. I appreciate the compliment, but I'm seeing someone. I appreciate the compliment, but I'm married. See, everybody cannot handle that rejection. And so that rejection a lot of times just stop men, just cold in their tracks, just that fear. That anxiety that'll hit some men just by the mere thought of you saying, nope, not you, buddy. Nope, get out of here. Some men just can't handle that. But again, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. But thank you for teaching us about every inch. Oh, yes, Miss B, got to be every inch. And let me put this up real quickly. See, ladies, I want you to understand. Please understand this. The only thing that has changed in the dating scene is the technology and the different ways in which people can meet each other, in particular online. But men, we are still hunter-gatherers. What do I mean by that? We still got the same DNA as our great, as far as you could go back to the days in which men went out and they caught their own food. They killed the animals and came back, brought the animals back, prepared the animals up and we ate the meat or whatever. We're still hunter-gatherers. Men, we still love to hunt. Men still love the hunt of the chase with women. We're naturally wound up to chase and pursue women. And guess what? We love doing it. That's never going to change. But if you make it easy, a man is going to say, well, why? Well, I would have pursued you, but why should I? Because you made it too easy. So there's no need for me to pursue you. If you get time, maybe some of you have not looked at all of my podcasts, all of my videos. If you get time, please look at the video I entitled about how to make a man compete for you. Because in the beginning of that video, to start it off, I start off talking about if a lady, if you can, all ladies, just imagine this scenario. I'll try and recap it real quick. Just imagine this scenario. Imagine a movie that you saw in which it was based upon a prison movie or a jailhouse movie, and the man escaped from prison. And he escaped from prison and he ran into the woods. Now, the prison team, they find out that the inmate escaped, and they get the dogs and they send the dogs out on the trail. Now, when they send the dogs out, they say, hey, come here, Homer. Come here, Homer. So they call Homer the dog out, and they give Homer just a little bit of that inmate's clothing. You know, maybe a little piece of his shirt or his sock or something. And they give Homer that scent, and Homer, and boy, when Homer gets that scent, Homer says, "Arr!" Then Homer points. And wherever Homer points to, that's where that inmate went. And then they say, go get him, Homer, go get him, boy, go get him. And they take those restraining devices off of Homer. Homer runs in that woods, and he tracks that escaped inmate. Ladies, once again, see, you are that escaped inmate. And the men, that's us. I'm sorry, and Homer, that's us. Homer is the man. That's what we do. All we need is a little bit of your scent, and we will track you, just like Homer is trained to do. Now, what about the rest of the inmates that are in the jail? Why didn't Homer try and track them? Why? Because Homer didn't have their scent. Homer was trained to, once he get that scent of that one particular person, and he, Homer's on the trail for that one particular person. I promise you, ladies, you are that escaped prisoner. All you need to give a man, us, is that little bit of scent. Hey, can I get your phone number? Maybe. Uh-oh. Boy, when you say maybe, we got a piece of your scent. We're in pursuit mode. Okay, that means I got to do something. Then we try, we talk our way to get that phone number. You say, I like your persistence. I'll give you an email. Uh-oh, now we got more scent. See, now we're really on the trail. Ladies, you got to understand this about men. I promise you this. No matter how many phone numbers we got in this phone, no matter who we conversating with, no matter how many people we're talking to on social media sites or dating sites or whatever, see, once we get your scent, you go to the top of the list. And you say, that's impossible. How is that? Because I just met you. No, it's not just because you just met us. You turned on our competitive levels. You turned on our ability to what? To chase the scent. That's the power that you ladies have. And all we need is just a little scent. And when we point, we're going to follow you. We could meet you at a coffee shop. Let's say the address is 5th and Main Street. We talk to you. We try and get your phone number. You say, nope. And then eventually you say, you know what? It's late. I got to go. You get in your car, you go your way. We get in our car, we getting ready to go our way. See that coffee shop that we met you at, or that sandwich shop where we met you at? We will remember that place. And let's say we met you that was a Saturday night we met you. We'll come back the next Saturday night, hoping we run into you again. Or we'll come back the next Saturday night. And you say, I don't believe that, Pops. See, you don't understand men. We'll track you down. That's see those DMs, the DMs, that just made it a whole lot easier. But I promise you, if they didn't have all those DMs and all that, where you can just, kind of get a piece of somebody's name and type it in, and then, you may follow maybe a piece of their social media, and you can kind of, but if they didn't have that, we'll track you down just like that hound dog. If we got to go back to that place and ask the cashier, hey, you remember last week there was a lady, she had on, she was dressed real nice. She had on that Louis Vuitton bag. She was about such and such height and whatever. You remember her? And if that lady said, yeah, I remember her, what days does she come in here? She come here often? Well, she usually comes here on maybe Friday or Saturday. Okay, thank you. We'll be there. Y'all some powerful beings. I'm telling you, ladies, you really are. And if you just understood how we were wired to get just a little bit of that scent, it doesn't take much. We don't need a kiss. We don't need sex. All we need is just that little bit of indication showing that you interested in us. We on the trail. I promise you, we on the trail. All right, I guess y'all say this man lost his mind. Somebody say, smile more, what if you come off unavailable? Ashley W. If you could expound on that, Ashley, what if you come off unavailable? Somebody say he could kick rocks. Excellent question. I have the same issue. You're so right about men showing up looking for you where he first. Yes, yeah. Let me talk about this. Yeah, Miss Scott. Please, man, don't tell me what we won't do. I don't care if it was an airport. Man, we will track you down. We'll follow those breadcrumbs. Why? That's just the power that you have when you have a man's undivided attention. What did Percy Sled say in his song? He said, when a man loves a woman, you know what the next line says? He said, can't keep his mind on nothing else. Ladies, that statement is so true. When we on the scent, when we on the trail for you, when we are in pursuit of you, we can't keep our mind on nothing that's on Cupid. We're not keeping our mind nothing that's on Bumble or Tinder. Our mind is on you. Why? Because we're in compete mode. We're in pursuit mode. It's a powerful thing. You can actually take a man back to the old days of courting you if you understand these basic principles, because that's basically what it is. And see, while we are in pursuit mode, guess what? We're not even thinking about sex. See, you could train a man to not even look at you as a sexual being. And we just want to be around you. Smokey Robinson said, I would do anything. I would go anywhere. There's nothing I wouldn't do just to see her again. My goodness. Ladies, boy, my goodness. All right. Somebody said smile more. Oh my goodness, it's 9:44. I'm going on 3 hours. All right. Thank you so much. I guess y'all gave up on trying to call. Thank you so much. Let me see. Ashley W., if you want to try and rephrase that question, I don't know if you were referring that to me, You talk about what if you come off unavailable. I'm kind of having a hard time understanding that question. But if you want to try and resend that question, I would gladly try and answer it before I go. But it's amazing how time flies. 9:44. We started at 7. Let's see. Got 56 in the chat. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for everybody who gave those super chats. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If there are no more further questions, I don't see any popping up. Again, I just want to thank everybody for participating. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Okay, somebody said, how do we seem more approachable? Oh, Miss Scott answered that. That's a great response when we talk about smiling more. See, men, a lot of times as men, what we're looking for is we're looking for small, subtle things that indicate that you have slight interest in us when we're approaching. Now, there are some men that are like, the hell with it. I don't care if you're not sending me any choosing signals. I'm just going to approach you anyway because I'm just that bold. And you just have to tell me, no, it's not in the cards for you. So there's some men that have that attitude. But a lot of men look for, the little subtle things. And one of the ways in which you can send out a subtle message that you find a man attractive and it's okay to approach you is by showing, just a slight smile. Of course, you don't have to show all 32 of your teeth. I'm firmly against that because, again, men just have that. Men get overconfident if they see too many teeth. So you can, give a man a slight smile, maybe a nice subtle wave, or you ladies, you know how to do it. You just don't want to come across as going overboard. You don't want to send those signals out that make a man think that, oh yeah. Oh, she feels my swag. She like my style. She like my personality already. This is going to be a piece of cake. You always want to remember you want to keep a man in compete mode. Okay, men say I am reserved and come across as unavailable. How can women change this? Also, do you offer coaching? Yes, I'm actually putting together my website now. Ashley, why? If you want to email me, you can, and we can start setting some things up. But see, when you come across as reserved and come off as unavailable, okay, let me talk about those two things real quickly. Now, coming across as being reserved, that's a good thing. Why is that a good thing? Because you'll be surprised. Men, we pick up on everything. And see, when we see that reserved type quality, that wholesome type quality, one of the first things that pops in our mind is, okay. This could be someone who I can see as dating, possibly being future fiance, possibly wife material. You'd be surprised, ladies, how men, we can look at you at one glance, not saying we're going to marry you, but we can take, in a lot of instances, we could take one glance at you and decide what category we're going to put you in, such as wife material or booty call or F-buddies or friends with benefits. You would be surprised. Take one look at you, take a look at how you dressed, take a look at how you walk, how you carry yourself. If you're on that cell phone talking loud and we can hear your conversations way across the floor or across the room, we start saying, okay, you pretty, she's fine, but she too loud. No wife material there. So I'm just saying, how men are. We can pick up things, and your job is to, number one, present yourself as wife material, even though we don't know you, and then what? Put things in place that keep you up there. And that's why you get that book, It's a powerful book. It's powerful. See, you got to be a man to write that book right there. No doubt about it. Because this is the only book that you're going to find that's going to give you instructions of how to deal with us. The book, first of all, is going to talk about why men need to be trained. Because if you don't train us, we're going to train you. You only got 2 outcomes. So you better beat us to the punch, ladies. Because once again, if you don't train us, men, we are going to train you. What are we going to train you? We're going to train you to get on our program. You don't want that. Why? Because that's not natural. It's natural for us to pursue you. It's natural for us to court you. If you look at some of the animal species, the peacocks, the birds, they court each other. Lions, it's a courtship. Lizards, it's a courtship. It's a process. Giraffes go through a courting process. I guess you could tell I watch Discovery Channel. But anyway, you would be surprised how the animal kingdom works in a courting process where the male has to put his best foot forward to show the female that he's the best suited male for her. That's a beautiful thing, and it could still happen today. It happened in the old days, it could happen today. But you got to have the right things in place. Get that book, promise you. Read the book. You can call in. You can ask questions. Once again, you got to be a man to write a book like that. You got to know men inside and out. And for some of you who are interested in coaching, hey, you don't have to choose me. But one thing I would suggest, if you're a lady, choose a man. And if you're a man, choose a lady. Who is better suited to tell you about how a man acts better than who? A man. Who is better suited to tell you how a lady acts better than a lady? I mean, I'm looking at so many guys on the internet talking about giving lessons on female nature. And I'm just looking at these men like, what the hell do you know about female nature? I don't get it. If you got a Mercedes-Benz, try taking that Mercedes-Benz to the BMW dealership to get serviced. They're going to say, you at the wrong dealership. We don't service that car. We only service the car we manufacture. So you can't take a BMW to the Mercedes-Benz dealership and vice versa. But when I see men talking about this is female nature, I would never subscribe to a man to tell me about a woman's nature. I'm going to a woman. My goodness. Man, there were so many things I can remember as a kid growing up. I'm going through puberty. My body's changing. I don't have a daddy in the household, so I can't go to mama and ask mama, why is my body doing this? I'm just being honest with you. Young man, 13, 14, he's going to have what's called wet dreams. That's natural. But at the time, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was natural. I just knew that some mornings I woke up and there was some thick white stuff in my underwear. And I knew it wasn't urine. It was too, but I can't go to mama and ask my mama that. What the hell is this, mama? So what I'm trying to say is I had to go to men. I went to men and they say, boy, that's natural. You just going through puberty. We all went through that. You're 13 years old. You wake up, you hump the pillow or whatnot. You humping in the bed. I know some of you women, you may be laughing, but it happens. especially when that boy is right at puberty. You know, some boys go to puberty at 12, some 11, 13. I think I was around 13. I didn't understand that, but I knew I couldn't go to mama. So it was men in my neighborhood, and they just laughed it off and said, boy, every boy go through puberty goes through that. And that's just how it is. Then on the flip side of that, I would ask them about advice about women. When I was curious about sex, of how to please a woman and whatnot. Guess what? 90% of what the men told me was wrong. So I got smart one day and I said, you know what? Why not go to the source? Why not ask a woman how a man should pleasure a woman and what women look for in a man when he's intimate with her. And so I started learning about how to pleasure a woman from who? A woman. And not that old crazy advice I was getting from men. They telling me you got to just go in there 100 miles an hour. And I was following that advice. And the women was like, boy, you better get up out of here with all that. You better learn some foreplay or something. And so when I started talking to women, they said, now you came to the right source, because now you're talking to a woman. Who knows better how to pleasure a woman than who? A woman. So I know I kind of may have went off on a little, but you get the point. So there it is. Somebody said, I would prefer to have a man educate me on what they want rather than, there we go. I'm sure it's the same for women talking about what men want. Christian said, I think the same thing when I hear those male dating coaches talk about, hey, exactly, Christian. How can I don't understand it. How can a man tell another man what a woman wants? I just don't understand that. 90% of the time they have no clue. Exactly. It makes no sense when you see men telling you about female nature. How the hell you know about female nature? No, I didn't realize this early in life. Let me put this comment up. Thank you so much, Coach Patty. I didn't realize this early in life. I was reserved and wore dresses a lot on campus. I was kind of nerdy and walked in my standards. And at 19, my husband, bingo, I bet he did find you. Yeah. So maybe, some of you ladies, maybe you don't have children, but you have a boy one day when that boy starts going through puberty. When he closed that door at night, remember some of the things I told you. Because that puberty for a boy, man, it's like a roller coaster ride. You're like, what the hell is going on here? What is this? What is this my body is making? And why is it saying do it more often? All right. How many we got? 56 in the chat, 62 likes. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much for the super chats. It's going on 3 hours. I'm going to end this. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Hopefully, if you're free Monday, we can pick this up on Monday, and we go from there. Hopefully, I'll have the phone calls situated to where we can hear the callers call in. For the callers who did call in, I totally apologize for those technical difficulties. I promise you these things will be resolved on the next video. Thank you so much. Everybody have a good night, and I'm going to sign off. Have a good one.